Hello and welcome to Stories to Fall Asleep To, the second season of Reading with Cari. This Mindfulness Podcast incorporates ASMR elements to help reduce your stress, relieve your anxiety, and lull you to sleep. I am your host, Cari Favole, and I am so thankful that you've decided to spend some time with me. New episodes air every Wednesdays on any device you listen to podcasts. Click the link in the description to find the podcast now. Thank you. I welcome you back to the final episode of Season 2, Stories to Fall Asleep To. This, of course, is in the larger version of Reading with Cari. Next episode will be the season finale, just kind of wrapping up my thoughts and the status of the podcast and where the future takes us. So I am excited to get that out there and share that with you. As always, even though the podcast will go on a break after this season, I am still going to be around. I'm going to be doing a lot of different creative projects, hopefully, fingers crossed. And so if you need to get in touch with me, you can always reach out on the Discord, which is in the description, or you can email readingwithcari@gmail.com. But as always, let's start with a brief breathing exercise. This is the heart activation breathing method. Close your eyes and just focus on breathing for a moment. Don't change the pace forcefully, just notate the process within. Try to gently encourage your breathing to slow a bit, perhaps internally count to 4. Let your breath rest within your lungs for just a beat, and then let the breath back out on a count of 4, resting with your lungs empty for just a beat as well. Now imagine your breath going into and out from the heart. Biologically, we know that it is our lungs that perform this function. But for the sake of this exercise of aligning your mind with your heart, visualize the oxygen entering your heart or your chest and exiting out from there as well. It might help you to put your hand over your heart as you breathe, to direct your focus to your heart. Settle into the rhythm of your breath, slowly coming into your heart and gently leaving it. Into your heart, gently leaving. It's okay if your mind wanders. Just make note of it and bring yourself back to focusing on your breath. In and out, in and out. Great job. You've completed the exercise. I like to take a nice, long, slow sigh to celebrate the realignment of my heart and mind, and I invite you to do so as well. If you need to, you can sit a bit more with your natural breathing rhythm. Continue this podcast when you feel ready. And now here's the story. King Midas and the Golden Touch. Many years ago, there was a king named King Midas. The king was very, very rich. He was the richest king in the world, and he had more gold than any other king in the world. And the king loved his gold. He loved his gold more than anything else in all the world. He had a lot of gold, but he always wanted more gold. One day, the king was in his room counting his money when a wizard appeared in the room. The wizard said to the king, "I will give you one wish. What do you want?" The king said, "I want more gold." The wizard said, "But you already have so much gold. You have more gold than any other king." The king said, "I know I have a lot of gold, but gold is the best thing in the world. I want more. I wish that everything I touched would turn to gold." The wizard said,
"All right. Starting tomorrow morning when you wake up, everything you touch will become gold. But I warn you, this gift will not make you happy."
"I will take the risk," said the king. The next day, the king woke up very early. He was eager to see if his wish had come true, and if everything he touched would turn to gold. The king touched his bed lightly with his hand. The bed turned to gold. He touched a chair and a table. As soon as he touched them, they both turned to solid gold. The king felt extremely happy. He ran around the room, touching everything he could see. Everything turned to shining yellow gold. Soon the king felt hungry, so he went to the kitchen to eat his breakfast. But when he picked up a glass of water and tried to drink it, the water turned to gold. He couldn't drink any water. He wanted some bread to eat, but when he touched the bread, it turned to gold. He wanted to eat some meat, but when he brought it to his mouth, it turned to gold. He couldn't eat anything. Everything was gold. His young daughter came running into the room. The king loved his daughter very much, and he gave her a big hug. But as soon as he touched his daughter, she turned into a golden statue. She couldn't move. The king had a feeling of great fear in his heart, and he felt as if all the joy had been taken away. In his sadness, he cried out to the wizard who had given him the gift of the golden touch. "Wizard," he called, "please take away this horrible gift. Take all my gold. Take all my money. Take everything. Just give me back my daughter." The wizard appeared and stood in front of the king.
"Do you still think that gold is the greatest thing in the world?"
asked the wizard. "No, no," cried the king. "I hate gold. I don't want any more of it."
"Are you sure that you no longer want the golden touch?"
asked the wizard. "Yes, I'm sure," said the king. "I've learned my lesson. I don't think gold is the greatest thing in the world."
"All right," said the wizard. "Take this pitcher outside to the river and fill it with water. Then sprinkle water on the things that you have touched and turn to gold."
The king took the pitcher and rushed outside to the river. Then he ran back inside, and he sprinkled water on the head of his daughter. Instantly, she could move again. She was no longer gold. She was a normal girl again. The king was overjoyed, and he gave his daughter a big hug and kiss. Next, the king sprinkled his golden food with water, and it all turned back into real food. Then he and his daughter sat down to eat breakfast together. The king ate his food and drank his water very eagerly. He hated the golden touch so much that he even sprinkled the chairs and tables and everything else that he had turned to gold. Now the king hates gold, but now he is truly happy because he has his dear daughter. Thank you for listening. I welcome you back anytime you need to hear a comforting voice or a familiar bedtime story. But for now, let's prepare your mind and body for some much-needed rest. Start by checking in with your body and making sure you are as comfortable as possible. Place the tip of your tongue on the tissue right behind the top front teeth. Slowly exhale and empty the lungs of air. Through the nose, breathe in quietly for 4 seconds. 3, 4. Hold the breath for a count of 7 seconds. 5, 6, 7. Purse your lips and exhale forcefully through the mouth, making a whoosh sound for 8 seconds. 6, 7, 8. If you need to, you can repeat this cycle up to 4 times, but any more than 4, and you might start to feel lightheaded or dizzy. Remember that if you find it too difficult to hold your breath on the count of 7, you can use a shorter cycle of 2 seconds breathing in, hold your breath for 3.5 seconds, and exhale for 4 seconds. Good night and sleep well, my friend.